Hey guys, Matt Hennon here with Dye Paintball. In this video, we're going over replacing the airport with Dye's Airport Repair Kit.
The tools we're going to need are the dye tool, a 5/64 Allen, a 3/32 Allen, a 1/8 Allen, your dye UL lube, your parts kit, and the M3s. To make it a bit easier, we're going to go ahead and remove the ASA from the M3s. We're going to take the 5/64 Allen and loosen the retaining screw at the bottom. This screw does not need to be removed, it just needs to be loosened. Once that is loosened, we're going to take our 1/8 Allen and loosen the ASA tensioner. After the tensioner is loose, the ASA should slide back, removing it from the M3s. Once you have the ASA removed, we're going to go ahead and set the M3s aside and only take a look at the ASA itself. We're going to start by taking a dye tool and a pick and removing the jewel on the side of the ASA. Once we have that removed, we're going to go ahead and take our 3/32 Allen and remove the retaining screw that holds the ASA lock in place. Once you have the ASA locking lever removed, we're going to take a pick and remove the 010 retaining O-ring from the ASA. After you have the retaining O-ring removed, we're going to go ahead and take our dye tool and use the airport tool. If you do not have the dye tool or the airport tool, you can use needle nose pliers. In order to remove the pin housing, we're going to go ahead and make sure that the airport is in the off position so that the pin sits flush against the pin housing, and we're going to take our dye tool and remove the pin housing. Once you have it removed, the pin might stay inside the ASA. If it does, you'll just need to grab a needle nose pliers and gently pull it out. After you have the pin removed, the internal cam is now free to fall out. Once we have everything removed, we're going to go ahead and set the old parts aside and grab our parts kit to reassemble our ASA. For reassembly, we're going to go ahead and take our ASA housing and our internal cam. We're going to make sure that it's lined up properly. The two sides are different. One has a square end, the other has a small rounded piece. The small rounded end goes into the ASA first and lines up inside. There is a notch and a guide for it to fall into. We're going to go ahead and place that in and make sure that it's lined up properly and turns and stops. Once you have the internal cam placed properly, we're going to go ahead and take our 010 retaining O-ring and place that inside, around the cam, and under the ASA. We're going to do this by taking an Allen or a pick. It is much easier to use a pick to push the O-ring into place. You're going to start by forcing the O-ring under the ASA and just going around in a circle and just working your way around, pushing the 010 retaining O-ring under the edge of the ASA housing. This O-ring doesn't seal any air, so you don't need to worry about damaging it too much. The only thing you don't want to do is break it completely. The next piece we're going to grab is our on-off lever, and we're going to make sure that turns it on and off before screwing it in. You can use your old lever if it is still intact and you still want the color, or if it's broken, go ahead and use the black on-off that is included in the parts kit. We're going to go ahead and take the retaining screw, making sure that the ASA lever is still in place, and screwing it on. Once you have the ASA tightened, we're going to take our new badge and remove the paper protector for the adhesive. And we're going to turn the ASA on so that when we place the badge, the die logo is facing properly when your marker air is turned on. Firmly press and line it up and make sure that it is adhered to the metal screw. Once the badge is in place, we're going to go ahead and make sure that the ASA is now turned off. We're going to grab some lube, take our pin housing, lube up the blue 07 O-ring. It doesn't need much, just a little bit. We're going to take our pin and make sure it firmly presses in. One side is larger than the other, so it can only be inserted one way. We're going to take our black 06 O-ring, place it around the pin. We're going to go ahead and now take our die tool, set the pin housing assembly onto our die tool. Once you have it on your die tool, you're going to take the ASA, face it upside down where the tank is screwed in, facing the ground, so the ASA assembly stays on your die tool. And once you have it in place, we're just going to go ahead and screw the pin assembly back into place. Next, we're going to go ahead and make sure that the ASA turns on and off simply by turning it off and pressing the pin in to make sure the pin moves, and turning it on to make sure that the pin pushes out. Once we've assembled our ASA with our repair kit, we're going to go ahead and place the ASA back onto our M3. Once you have the ASA in position, we're going to take our 1/8 Allen, tighten the ASA tensioner down so it's snug so the ASA does not move anymore. Once we have that, we're going to take our 5/64 Allen and tighten the ASA locking screw. Once we have that screw tightened, that concludes our video on the die repair kit for the ASA.